We're grateful that you're joining the show today. So we're going to launch. We're launching this podcast.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
talking about these ideas. So it's really awesome to have you as a host.
Yeah.
And pick your brain. Talk about things that matter to you. We've been with you this week, so we've already been privy to some of that. We're going to highlight some of that.
Okay.
Have some fun.
Okay.
And a laugh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
We're going to definitely have a good time.
Wouldn't be the Mike and Doug show without that.
Without a laugh, exactly.
So,
Right.
If you could, Evan, just for our audience, if you could just give like an elevator speech on who Evan Carmichael is.
Sure. I'm trying to solve the world's biggest problem, untapped human potential. I think most people aren't doing the thing they should be doing. I think everybody has Michael Jordan level talent at something, but instead they're living a life that they're not satisfied with. And so I try to solve that through the content I'm making. I think I'm most well known for my YouTube videos. We've got daily content that help people be successful. And I've got 2 books, a bunch of ventures. And most importantly, I'm new friends with Mike and Doug. So that's the highlight.
I like it.
It's like the family. We feel like we're part of the family.
Yeah.
In fact, it's Evan and the Carmichael.
Right, here we are.
So yeah, we'd like to bring in interesting people as we have different episodes and shows. And we're both firemen.
Yeah.
And he's down in South Central Florida there. I'm up in Northwest Florida. We have a pretty nice following and a big circle of folks that we've worked with through the years.
Yeah.
But we don't want to make it all about the fire department, and we
Okay.
want to make it more about life and more
Okay.
about experiences.
Okay.
We're going to bring people in. So what would you tell us? How can we get to interesting people? How do we connect with people? Maybe even folks that are up a little higher, that fly up in the atmosphere, that might be celebs, might be folks like you.
Yeah. So first off, don't take the yes away from somebody.
Okay.
Don't make the decision for them. Don't assume that just because they're some big celeb that they won't give you an option. Like a lot of people just by default think small and take the yes away. Unless you ask, you've taken the yes away from them. So the worst thing you can do is ask. If you get no, you get a no. And most people will say no, but some people will say yes. But you wouldn't have known unless you've reached out. So rule number 1, don't take the yes away from them. 2, I pay attention to who are some of the people who you genuinely like. Who are you consuming? What are the podcasts, YouTubers, radio shows, TV personalities, whoever that you actually consume and connect with? The people that I had the best collabs with early when I was getting started were people who I followed. I was a part of their community. I was a known quantity, so I was commenting on their videos. Hopefully when I reached out to them, they knew who I was. They could recognize my face or my name, not from any past accomplishments, just from being in the community. There are people who are in my community who I would do anything for. Like I would fight hard to help them with something if they asked me because they're just so dedicated and loyal. Before coming here, Doug was tweeting every day that he's coming here and doing a countdown clock and a timer and just how pumped he is to be here and telling other people about it. He brought you here, right? Like that makes me want to help Doug. Just I feel the love. So Doug says, hey, Evan, I need help with something. I'm going to take a look. Doesn't mean I can say yes, depends on what he needs, how big the ask is, but I'm gonna do my best to be able to do that for him. So be a part of the community of the person that you want to go and connect with, and ideally be a known quantity to them so that when you do reach out with an ask, they say, oh yeah, oh that's Doug, he's the guy who's all over my comments, right? Yeah. I think aligning with people who like helping people is important. Finding people who like being on other people's shows is important. I like doing it. I like being on people's podcasts. I like helping people start. I like being a part of somebody's startup journey. It just fuels me. I never pay attention to how many subscribers somebody has. I like being the first. Somebody approaches me and is like, hey, I have a new podcast I want to start. You mind being the first? Do I mind? I love it. It's the best, right? I want to be number 1, right? And I want to be number 1,000 too. Like, it's like when you keep going, I want to be number 1,000. Bring me back on. Like I want to remember this, right? And listen, most of the people will crash and burn, but there'll be 2 or 3 that make it. It's like, I was number 1. Like we got it going, right? And sometimes that's not the ego of me being number 1, but like the energy and the vibe and for some people the thing of wow, we got this big guy on our channel to do our show, we can do more.
Right. Well, that kind of leads me into my question because you do hundreds of podcasts and stuff like that. Is like, some of the pitfalls that you see people starting out with podcasts? Any tips that way?
Ask questions that matter to you. So many times the questions are a set series of questions. And that's okay for like an ending, like if you have the lightning round, you have the 3 things you're grateful for, like some kind of routine or schedule, it's great how you want to end off. But if you are genuinely curious about the person, then ask the questions that matter to you, because your curiosity will, one, bring energy to the whole conversation, but will also bring out the genius of the person that you're trying to talk to.
Yes.
So too many podcasters ask the same 8 questions, and the most frustrating thing about listening to interviews is the best answers often come from 3 questions deep from the first question. So somebody asks a question, you get a great answer, and it's like, oh, that's interesting. Like I wanna know more about what that person's talking about. And they say, okay, thank you for that answer. Let's move on to the next question.
Right.
It's like, why didn't you?
Yeah.
Right? So a genuine curiosity for the person. It's nice to have a set list. Like, don't come in unprepared until you get really good at it. So come in with your 10 questions, be ready to go. But ideally, you're asking 1 or 2, and then your entire list gets deleted because you've just taken that conversation down a really interesting path.
Sure.
If you're interested, your audience will be interested as well. So just asking better, more meaningful questions.
Right. And that makes perfect sense, because you get into it like no different than a conversation. You're having a conversation with someone. Oftentimes, when you start to peel back that onion and get down into some of those personal questions, it leads to. I heard you say you ended up on a 30-minute conversation with Instagram with somebody.
Yeah.
I mean that's probably how that started.
Yeah.
You start with some simple things.
Yeah.
And then you connect.
Yeah. And where it comes from you guys, is actually listening to what the person is saying. And that can be hard, especially as somebody who might be intimidating for you, or like a big get for you, because you're so concerned about the flow of the show and what's coming next and getting the questions done and how much time do we have and all of that stuff, that you're not actually even listening to what they're saying. And if you're not actually listening, you won't be able to have a great follow-up question.
Right.
And that's where the real gold is.
Yeah, that conversation, having a conversation.
Yeah.
Interrupting each other.
Sure.
Laughing.
Sure.
Going in directions you didn't plan.
Sure.
Yeah. I see the value in that.
Yeah, I think you guys would be great at that, by the way. Like, I think you're naturally great listeners, which lead to great questions.
Yeah.
I don't see that as being a bigger problem for you guys as others, but it's something that really holds a lot of people back.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Having 2 also helps, right? Like, one where it might be stressing, and then the other guy's thinking, right?
That's what the thought process was.
Yeah.
Is that, it's like when you talk about being overwhelmed, like I do a lot of public speaking in front of audiences. I don't have that fear of, stage fright in front of an audience. But it's the fact of, darn, when you're done, you go, darn, I wish I would have said that.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed, that.
Yeah.
Where you get the reset.
Yeah.
So
it's just being present.
Kind of feed off that.
Like, we've been here for 3 days at this workshop here in Toronto. I haven't checked any of my stuff while I've been here, because I want to be present for you guys. We're at lunch, I could be checking my email, checking my Instagram, but then some thought from that carries through, and then I'm thinking about that while I'm sitting here talking with you guys. I want to be present for you guys right here, right now, right? So if you catch a thought about dinner tonight, or the Florida Gators or whatever, like, get it out of here. Any nerves around being here, or like lights or setup or anything, like, it's got to go. I'm present with this person, because we're going to have a magical moment that's going to come out.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely taken away the anxiety being here multiple days.
Yeah.
We really feel like we got a chance to know you.
Yeah.
As our listeners don't know, but I'm a newbie in this, and I keep saying over and over again, I'm jumping in the water deep end, no water wings, and the whole experience has just been more of like, it is personal. It is like, you have to have the emotion. You just can't be like a robot speaking. So that's a huge takeaway that I got, as far as just, get to know you. But that might not always be the case, but that's where we got to fall back on what we do before.
Yeah, and it was, we saw that. I mean, Evan, we were able to understand how much you have invested in this, because I'm a busy guy.
Yep.
Doug's a busy guy.
Yep.
We got people calling us that are, running for mayor back home. I think one of our governor candidates was trying to get a hold of us today. We got emails, crisis management mode in this city.
Yep.
And, we're over here, fumbling, trying to pay attention to that. you're at a whole nother level. And as to your point, I haven't seen you check email or outside of instruction, I haven't seen you on your phone all week. So I mean, genuinely, we appreciate that, and I that means a lot to me personally. I think that speaks volumes about who you are as a person. And I've been to a lot of trainings and seminars and things, and oftentimes it's more about the ego of the presenter or how much they know and just their title, right? But you are, and I sent this to my wife last night, just sent her a text before I went to bed, is that you're genuine. I mean, you are a real person. I mean, and what makes you, to me, and I haven't followed you like Doug has, and even friends of mine back home, but what I took away is that you're a genuine person. I mean, if you deleted your entire following of YouTube and you took away all of your success and started over tomorrow, I think you'd rise right back up at the top, because it all comes from that soul and from your heart. So kudos to you for that. And I think you've motivated and moved all of us here this week and made us understand that that always has to be the reason why, the purpose, the reason why you roll out of bed and do things, not because of the money or the title or the leadership prestige. It genuinely has to be from the heart. And y'all spent a lot of time trying to twist that out of us this week.
Right?
I've been a harsh nut to crack, but that's so important. And I'm telling you, we're going to be disciples for you when we go back home, to try and get the folks in our circle to be more effective and bring more value, in that way. So,
cool.
so yeah, man, just props to you and your team for making that work, and thank you for paying attention. Like you said, just wrapping. You've been going to dinner every night with us, and Anita, your wife's come and visited with us, and then she typically leaves without you, and you're still with us.
Yeah.
So it's been outstanding.
I appreciate it.
I just wanted to dive a little bit deeper into something that was mentioned this week in class, and I'm going to refer to the notes. You said, made the comment like, most people aren't afraid of failing, but they're afraid of failing in front of other people.
Yeah.
If you could just kind of, deconstruct that.
Yeah, I think most people are. I think everybody has a dream. I think everybody wants to do something bigger. I think people have this feeling inside them that they're meant for something more than what they're doing right now. I think humans love to learn and grow, and we have ambitions to go off and do something. We tend to label the reason why we don't do it as fear. I'm afraid that it won't work out. I'm afraid that, even in something like that, I'm afraid that it won't work out. It's not that you're just afraid that it won't work out. You're afraid of how you'll look in front of other people that it won't work out. People aren't afraid of singing in the shower to themselves. But you're afraid of singing on the street, or singing at a karaoke bar, or singing,
in the Uber on the way in.
On the Uber, or if you want to be a singer, like to sing on video and put it up on YouTube. But you'll make an embarrassment of yourself and fall down all the time, right?
Right.
If it's just you. If you're trying to learn how to ski, if nobody's on the hill, you'll go down. But if somebody's on that hill, you're worried that you're going to get judged for looking poor, right? So it's not that you're afraid of failure, it's that the judgment from the other people and how they'll react to your failure. Even total strangers, it's crazy how we're wired. It's not even friends and family, it's complete strangers. We'll play small by default around complete strangers. And so part of that realization is if you can catch it, then you need to train yourself to take the opposite action.
Yeah, it's almost like Mel Robbins' 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's just, you got to get past it. You have that 5 seconds to take action.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, in typical fireman humor, as you understand, we're wired differently. I think I don't know how much experience you've had with firemen before this.
Yeah, I know a few. Yeah.
But most firemen are wired a little differently. It's probably because of our ADD and thrill-seeking mode and everything. But we wanted to try and come up with some original questions.
Yes.
To hit you with
Yes.
something that you don't normally get.
Yes. This is the best.
We can achieve
This
that
is
goal,
the best.
so.
Okay.
All right, so just fast and furious.
Okay.
We got some rules for you.
Word association.
Okay.
What are we doing?
The way it's not going to be word association.
Okay.
We're going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
There's no time limit for you to respond to the question.
Okay.
But as soon as you finish, you're going to get peppered with the next question.
Okay, I'm good with that.
All right.
All right, so right, I'm going to jump right in. All right,
Yeah.
So what is something you've never done but you've always wanted to do?
Zero, dude. If I want to do something, I do it.
Okay, I love it.
Okay. If you could call anyone in the world and have a conversation with, who would it be?
AP Giannini.
Okay, if you could have any other job for just 1 week, what would it be?
Can it be historical?
Yeah.
I want to be a slave before the Civil War.
Wow.
Okay, derailment. Okay, if you could learn the answer to one
You're supposed to ask the question right away. What are you? Where's the? What?
I'm
got
going. Okay, if you could learn the answer to one question about your future, what would it be?
Learn the answer to the one question about my future. What would it be? Oh, I think so little about this stuff. Will Doug come back to Canada?
Good answer.
I love it. All right. I love it. All right. Are there any failures, or what is a failure you're most proud of?
Telling my business partner that I quit on the company and then coming back the next day.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Reading minds.
If Toronto could get a hurricane, what would you name it?
Hurricane Doug.
Do you have any nicknames growing up?
You gotta go faster in the question. There's no laughing aloud in between, Doug. It's a fire round, dude. Did I have nicknames growing up?
Yeah. Did you have any nicknames growing up?
Skunitso.
Have you ever dropped anything in the toilet?
Nothing memorable.
If pressing a button meant receiving $5 million, but it also meant that Gary Vee would get half of your YouTube subscribers, would you push it?
For sure.
If you were trapped in a burning building, would you have confidence in Doug and Mike coming to rescue you?
100%.
Would you sponsor Mike and Doug on becoming official Canadian citizens?
Ooh. I'm gonna take the 5th. Do we have that in Canada?
And by my notes, you've survived the lightning round, my friend.
I don't know if you guys survived the lightning round with these slow responses
You're
here.
a pro, man. It's like we give you props on that, and
That was good.
you know, just from the bottom of our heart, thank you.
Good, man. Happy to help.
Yeah,
I think you guys got something, man. I think honestly it's just the quantity. Doing more, you reach out, you got a good vibe.
Thanks.
Like good dudes, ask good questions, fun. It's just a question of how, one podcast every 2 weeks is not gonna cut it. So how committed are you to making it happen?
Volume.
Whether honestly, even sometimes whether it's like together or sometimes solo. Like if you're balancing other things, Dougie Fresh takes over for 1 week and Mike takes the next, and sometimes together. It's the beauty of having partners in a channel you don't always have to be on. I mean, there's definitely a vibe to the 3, but if it means getting some good content up.
Syndrome right now, you know?
No, I think it works out well of like having the 3. Like I think you guys play well off each other and you're like lightning back and forth. But I think if that limits you being able to get out the quantity of the content, I'd be looking at, if Doug's away for 2 weeks going somewhere, you take over and you bring people onto the show. Or people you're really interested in, just to keep it going. Because I hate, like I think you guys got it all lined up to win if you're committed to it. My biggest fear is it's going to take, you just won't stick with it or be consistent enough to.
Happen.
Yeah,
And
it won't be enough of a priority, and like it'll die.
Yeah, and you've taught us this week that you just got to get out there and put it out there. You got to try and not worry about perfection. Just create content, get it on a schedule, and 5, 4.
This is better than tons of the podcasts I've been on.
Wow.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
But it means nothing if you do 18 episodes a year.
Right. No, yeah.
Right?
That was driven home very well this week.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, we're not going to let you down. We're not going to let the audience down. We're going to create some content.
Yourself down.
Or the Evan and the Carmichaels down.
Or the Evan and the Carmichaels.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes. All right.
Anything we wrap up with, Doug?
No, just happy to be here, and I believe.
Yeah, and look, a great city. I mean, Toronto has been amazing. I've never been to Canada. My first time, love it. The folks have been great.
Cool.
Been gracious hosts, caught a ball game.
Yeah.
I would encourage everybody to get out there and come see Toronto. It's a beautiful place with beautiful people. So thanks for loving us, man.
And we'd like to thank our sponsor, Gary V, for this interview podcast. And
all right, I love Gary.
congratulations with getting half of his.
Where's my $5 million, Gary?
He's coming after you.
Give me
Gary.
my $5 million.
Come on.